Hey guys, what's up? It's Cameron, and if you're anything like me, you really care a lot about your personal finances. Whether it's a checking account earning absolutely zero interest or a traditional savings account, there's a lot of different options. And most people, I have to say, aren't really aware of these options. The average 18 to 24-year-old is a couple $1,000s in debt, so just being able to have any money to your name is a bonus. A lot of my friends who I've spoken to this about, they think they're doing well by storing some money away in a savings account that's linked with Chase or Wells Fargo, Regions, whatever it may be. They think it's in a savings account, that means I'm doing something good, I'm saving money. And while this is true, at the same time, you're missing out on so much money you could be earning from interest. Savings accounts with these banks really just don't offer good interest rates whatsoever. A few years ago, we kind of saw the emergence of online banking. So Ally, Wealthfront, things like that, banks that were able to offer a much higher interest rate just because they didn't have physical locations and a lot less overhead fees. I think I first made the transition from my Wells Fargo savings account to a Wealthfront savings account about 3 years ago. And at that point, I think the savings rate I was getting with Wealthfront was about 2.75%. That was extremely high at the time, but my Wells Fargo account, I think, was accumulating maybe 0.2, maybe 0.02%. Whatever it was a drastic difference from the Wealthfront. Well, in recent years, we've seen interest rates continue to decrease, meaning the amount of spread that banks actually have to work with and make profit off of has decreased, resulting in them bringing down those interest rates. Now, I actually just looked it up, and Wealthfront offers a 0.1% interest rate on their savings accounts, which, I don't know about you, isn't really worth it. The Federal Reserve has made the interest rates so low that there's really nowhere else for the banks to go. So now in financial circles, you might hear a lot of people saying cash is trash, things like that, not only because of the low interest rates, but also because of concerns of rising inflation. This isn't too much of a concern for me just because I still have the majority of my money away in investments, but because I am a college student, I plan on graduating in a year. I know that I'll need to have some cash stored away for a car and bigger expenses that just happen with that time of your life. So because of that, I really felt the need to have a pretty good amount of money saved in a savings account. I'm always doing a lot of research into the best interest rates that I can get, but honestly, with this last year, I kind of just gave up and was accepting a 0.1% interest rate. That was until I learned about OutletFinance. After all my research, I realized that OutletFinance was the best savings account that actually isn't even a savings account. Outlet is actually able to earn you a 9% interest on your money. Now, this seems absolutely insane compared to just saying 0.1% was at the high end of the spectrum. This means that the interest rate that Outlet claims that they can give you is 90 times as large as the other leaders in the high yield savings account realm. After I found out about Outlet, I did a little bit more research into it and just threw $500 in an account there just to see how it would work. And now here I am today, a believer in OutletFinance, and I want to share a little bit more about it with you. OutletFinance claims to be the app that makes dollars worth saving, and in today's video, I'm going to share a little bit more about why that makes sense. So chances are you've probably never heard of OutletFinance. And that's okay, I hadn't either. But Outlet actually has over $700 million in assets under management. If you're new to the term AUM, assets under management, this means that their users have over $700 million with OutletFinance. So I said earlier in this video that Outlet isn't actually a savings account. Instead, it's actually a niche lending service that works like a savings account. So it works like a savings account, just like anything else. You transfer your money in from your checking account, your bank account, into your account with Outlet, and they start accruing interest and taking care of the rest. As I said before, they claim to get you 9% interest, which is insane. But in the month or so that I've had the app, I can vouch that that is what I have been earning. So what is Outlet and how the heck does it work? So Outlet is basically a middleman that connects you with their network of over-collateralized lending partners. Among these partners, they are able to filter through and get you the highest yield possible. Most importantly, they're able to package this all into an app that makes the entire experience feel like a savings account. So I know I used a lot of buzzwords in that last sentence. So you might be asking, what is an over-collateralized lending partner? Well, this is actually how Outlet is able to get such high interest rates for their users. So the only loans that Outlet works with are over-collateralized. This means that borrowers actually have to put up more money than they're actually receiving from their loan. This ultimately protects Outlet from losses and is what ultimately allows them to accrue such high interest rates for their users. Now you might be thinking, who the heck would want an over-collateralized loan? That doesn't seem worth it. The majority of these loans actually are for people who want margin for trading Forex, crypto, stocks, things like that. It's a pretty common thing within that realm. I myself never trade using margin, so I don't know too much about it, but that is what I read. So how does Outlet work? Well, all funds are routed through the app using APIs, and then from there, all funds are stored in encrypted wallets. Encrypted wallets, you might think that's a buzzword within the crypto and blockchain community, and if you said that, you're right. Outlet is actually built on top of the Ethereum blockchain. The funds themselves are actually stored as an ERC20 digital asset. Now, I really have no idea what that means, but after doing more research, I realized that could just mean a stablecoin. So the stablecoin that Outlet uses is just the USD stablecoin. This is used because it doesn't really fluctuate like a lot of other cryptocurrencies do, and it still has all of those crypto qualities, but it kind of stays in place with the actual US dollar. This is obviously extremely important for users because if they're putting money away in a savings account, they want to be able to open the app the next day and still have that money there. Yeah, sure, it might be great if it were like Bitcoin and it shot up 10% in one day, everyone would be happy. But if the inverse happened and it shot down 10%, people would be losing their minds. So that's kind of why they use the USD stablecoin to store all of the funds. So the biggest concern that I had with Outlet when doing all of this research, I definitely thought originally that it was too good to be true, but I've done a lot of research and I've had a lot of conversations and I have learned that it is very legitimate and all of the funds are extremely secure. Like I said earlier, Outlet is pretty much just the middleman. So the only actual data that they store is your name, email address, and phone number. The reason that this occurs is because Outlet itself doesn't actually hold any of these funds. All of the funds that go through Outlet are actually held by a third-party custody partner. This is basically a third-party coverage or insurance provider. The actual provider that Outlet uses is the largest in the world. They currently store over $500 billion in total, and most importantly, it is SOC2 Type 2 approved. Now, I had no idea what any of this meant when I first read it, but upon doing more research, I learned that this is an approval process that a lot of stock markets, exchanges, and other regulated entities have to go through. All of these exchanges and institutions have to meet all of these requirements in order to even operate. After doing research, I was able to figure out that this really is the best possible protection and security for your digital assets. In addition to this, all funds are also secured by Fireblocks. This is just an added level of security that protects users against Outlet going out of business, shutting down, or disappearing with your money. So overall, assets on Outlet are fully protected. Unlike a bank, they're not FDIC insured, which I know initially was a big concern for me, but because they aren't actually a bank, they're not technically allowed to be FDIC insured. They're not allowed to have insurance. Instead, they have to have coverage. And the coverage is what I just talked about, and Outlet uses the largest coverage partner in the entire world. So long and extremely complex story short, all your money on Outlet is extremely safe, and you don't need to worry about it disappearing overnight like you might see in a lot of other crypto and Bitcoin stories. So now that we know a little bit more about what Outlet is and how it works, let's talk about my experience. So for full transparency, Outlet reached out to me. I myself don't know too much about blockchain and crypto, so it was all a lot of new information for me. And like I said earlier, it all seemed a bit too good to be true. Because of this, I set up a meeting with the actual founder of Outlet, Patrick Manfra. In this meeting, I expressed to him my concerns about the security of it, and I just explained that some of the explanations I saw on their websites all went over my head. Patrick was able to explain it to me in a way that I was able to understand, and he assured me that all of the money on Outlet is 100% safe, and he gave me plenty of links and resources for me to do further research, which is what I've talked about in this video. I know a lot of people kind of think of crypto and blockchain as the Wild West, but the way Outlet has been able to go about it really makes it safe. And although you are somewhat reliant on the blockchain technology, because your funds are stored as stablecoin and loaned out, you yourself aren't necessarily exposed to the risks of the cryptocurrency markets. Now, as far as my actual experience on the app, I can say it was very well made. I haven't had any issues with bugs or things like that. It runs extremely smoothly, and honestly a lot better than the banking apps I've used for some of the largest banks in the world. So as you can see on the screen, I initially put in $500 into this account. So far, Outlet has paid out to me 37 cents, and I have a total of $1.73 in accrued interest that I'm waiting to be paid out to me later this week. Now, I know this doesn't seem like big money whatsoever, but for reference, if I had this invested with my Wells Fargo account, I would have made about half a cent at this point, maybe. And again, in all honesty, I only put $500 in here at the beginning just because I was still a bit skeptical about it. But now that it's been in here for a while, I can trust it. And I definitely plan on putting more money in here as time moves on. Also, there's no concerns with not being able to withdraw your money from this account. The app makes it extremely easy to withdraw and deposit money directly to or from your banking account. So I think the app is really cool just because you can kind of see exactly how much interest you're earning in live time. A lot of other apps don't always make it clear, especially some of those traditional banking apps that offer such low rates. They probably don't even want to tell you what the rates are just because it makes them look kind of bad. But Outlet is obviously extremely proud of it, and they showcase your accrued interest right as you open up the app. So as you can see, I'm currently earning 9% interest. That means off of $500, I will earn $45 for the year. And again, like I said, this doesn't seem crazy, but compound interest can do amazing things. So over time, if this 9% continues to grow, it'll end up being an abnormally large number, probably a number you can see on the screen right now. And it's crazy to think that that is literally just that $500 investment compounded at 9% over time. But compound interest is a story for another video. I know I've been talking for a long time. I know I've used a lot of big words. So if you have any questions at all, leave them down below in the comment section. I'll do my best to answer them. And if I can get to it, someone from Outlet will actually be down there answering any questions you guys might have. Also, let me know what you think of the app. Do you think it's too good to be true? If so, I recommend you just try it out for yourself. I certainly am a believer in it now. And if you yourself are interested in earning 9% interest a year, the link in the description will take you through all the steps to get you started on your journey of earning 9%. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a little bit more technical than usual, but this is definitely a very interesting topic, and I felt would be extremely useful for all of you guys to learn. So with that all being said, go get your Outlet accounts signed up right now, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.